What's up guys, Craig Peters here, and today we're going to be on the final video in the Tone is in the Hand series. And today we're going to be covering two of the most overlooked techniques I think when first getting into guitar, and probably two of the most important. So get ready, because today we're going to be doing bending and vibrato. Alright, so when first getting into bending, what you're going to need is a target note, something to aim for. Because if you're just kind of bending around and you're not aiming for anything, then it's just going to sound like that. It's going to sound like a cat running down the street with its head on fire or something. So what you want to do is have a target note, a note that you're aiming for. So let's say we're on D, 15th fret on D, and what we're going to do is we're going to bend C sharp to D, C to D, and then B to D. So we're going to be doing a half step bend, a whole step bend, and a whole step and a half. A little thing you can do is whenever you're trying to learn something new or something you're not familiar with, always try to have a visual reference or some kind of thing to help you see where to go. And I was playing around with this the other day and I thought it was kind of helpful is if you look at where the G string normally is, what I do when first doing a half step bend is you can try to bend where this string is to right here. So we're going to be doing a half step bend now. That's our target note. It's sort of near, maybe a little before where the G string is. And you're just going to try to bend to around that area. And then we're going to go from that. So we're going to go C to D, whole step. So you can hear where having that target note is kind of helpful because you have this. It's not always going to be perfect. It's kind of very hard, and you need to have a lot of control, and I still work on this all the time and try to. And then we're going to do a whole step and a half bend to the note. It's another little tricky thing you do if you're trying to do chromatic notes. It's kind of a Guthrie Govan type thing, but that guy's, yeah. So that's what I would do. I mean, you could do more, but this is a good starting point for working on bends. At least being able to go to a whole step and a half. If you're like, another cool thing you can do too is going down. Let's say like a diatonic scale, just on one string. So you're going to start on the 10th fret on the G string. That's your target note. Then as you slide down a half step, you're going to bend up a half step. So then the next time when you slide down a whole step, you're going to bend up a whole step. And that's cool because you can get musical with it, and you don't have to just sit there and just... Although that's just more for getting it under your fingers. You want to be able to feel how far up you want to bend and how far up you need to bend to get to the note. Unison bends are cool too because it kind of gives it that old kind of rock sound. And what you're going to be doing is holding down the 12th fret on the high E string, and then with your ring finger, you're going to be holding down the 15th fret on the B string. It sounds like that. It doesn't sound very good. But what you're going to be doing is bending up the 15th fret up a whole step to then match that note on the high E string. Now, normally you wouldn't try to match this when playing. I mean, you could if you're just trying to make sure you're hitting that pitch. But if you're using this in a song context, you'd probably have some vibrato in there too. So you can kind of hear it jarring in and out of pitch and out of pitch. Kind of gives it that kind of cool rock feel to it. All right, so we're going to be talking about vibrato. And vibrato, I think, is the key to making a good guitar player a great guitar player. Because if you can't just make one note sing, then all the millions of notes in the world can't really save you from people being like, he's okay, or, he's a decent. Like, you need to be able to make one note sound great. So, and this is something I work on all the time. I'm definitely not great at it, but I mean, by working on it, you can only get better. It's like the simplest little things that you can do that will kind of be like night and day. Because you see a lot of guys that, I'll see guys that are just like shredding up all these notes. But then when they go to play one note, their hand just kind of sits there. And then it just kind of dies. Like, you need something that kind of keeps that energy, keeps that flow, even if it's just a simple melody. So some simple things you can do. I want to talk about anchoring your thumb. And what I do is I'll kind of, when I want that control, I'll kind of grip my fingers together a little bit. So they kind of lock up and then start to kind of... And going back to the bending thing, you're just kind of bending it in and out of maybe like a microtone, not necessarily a half step. You're not trying to do that. You're just kind of going in and out just to kind of give it a little bit of a rocking motion. So here's just nothing. And then here's a little bit of vibrato. Whoops. All right, so if you're doing vibrato and you're pulling down, this side of your hand is kind of flinging away from you, maybe towards the headstock. When you're actually bending up, this part of your hand is actually going to be kind of coming towards the neck. So as you're doing this, kind of look at the way your hand moves. Because you don't want to just do this, because your fingers is still placed on the string. It's not really doing anything. You're just kind of moving your hand. You want to bend down the note as you're doing that motion. So remember, it's not just a matter of doing this. You actually have to bend the note as well. But by incorporating the bending and the rocking motion, you're going to get a vibrato. And then from there, you just try to get it as smooth as possible. So if you have a backing track or a metronome, some kind of pulse that's just kind of going the whole time, you don't want to just be like... The whole thing is you want it to be smooth and in time. Another thing I want to talk about is reinforcing your fingers. Sometimes you can make a job a little bit easier for a finger by having a couple other fingers supporting it. It's called reinforced bending or reinforced vibrato, whatever you want to call it. But by having, instead of just doing this, or if you're on your ring finger or pinky, put all the fingers on the fretboard. You can't just do the first finger. I mean, there's no other fingers behind the index finger. But yeah, if you're, let's say you're just up here with your pinky and you're about to play. By having another finger behind it, it makes your job a little bit easier. It makes it a little bit easier on your fingers. You don't have to wear them out so hard and get these super deep lines in your fingers. So try combining both of these, vibrato and the bending, and really try to get the feel. And also try listening to other, people, let's say like opera. They have some of the best vibrato in the world. Even though it's not guitar, you're listening for the feel and how it sounds and how you want to try and mimic that on the guitar. So thanks for checking out all the videos, and hopefully you've been getting something out of them. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And thanks again for everyone who's been supporting. And I got another video series that's going to be coming out soon on home recording. Should be a lot of fun. So yeah, keep tuning in, and I'll be putting those up soon. Until then, see ya.